Hello and welcome to a very short video that is going to basically show you what I've got surrounding me during my streams. So let's get to it. First thing I'm going to show you is one of these. This is my Australian Mark I Bren gun, and it is an absolutely beautiful example of, there we go, of a absolutely lovely rifle. Isn't that nice? Yeah, Bren gun. Yeah. And next we have another interesting one. We have a law. This is a British law. L1A3B1. Who doesn't like a law? Okay, something else. This is not exactly what you would call a firearm, but it's definitely something interesting. This is it's a parachute flare for a 2-inch mortar, British 2-inch mortar. Kind of cool, actually. That's just my another weird one that I've got. This is one that I actually bought during a sailing trip. It's a Denix little flintlock pistol. Obviously, I've got myself a lot of firearms, so obviously I've got to have a bayonet. This is a Mosin-Nagant bayonet. Big joint. Basically, this is a really sharp screwdriver, really pointy. I mean, the Mosin-Nagant's already a long rifle. You don't need an extra. Speaking of Mosin-Nagant, here's my Moist Nugget. This one is my 1943 Mosin-Nagant, and it's a nice one. Love that. Gotta love a good pull action on you. Alright, this one here is a little bit different. Although it is resembling a firearm, it's technically not a firearm. This is an airsoft gun. This is my XM177E2 airsoft gun. And the reason why I have this on my wall is not because it's an airsoft gun, but it's actually quite a bit of history to me. Because I used to use this for weird, wonderful sort of displays when we were running around shooting zombies, and I got a lot of the inspiration for this one from Black Hawk Down. Oh, obviously minus the ACOG. I didn't have an old red dot that I could put on here, but it does have the flashlight. It's nice and bright. Actually blinks the camera. That's awesome. But yeah, this one obviously functions as a gas blowback, so it will function like the real deal, even dry fires. Right, cool. The next one is might throw some people, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and confuse you, and I'm going to bring it up like this. Do you have any idea what it is yet? Bit slower, bit slower. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, this is an RPK. This is my Yugoslavian RPK, and this one is really, really nice because it's actually in really good condition, considering the fact that it does show quite a bit of use and wear, but its paint is beautiful. That's a nice one as well. But I love how it's got the AKM style buttstock as opposed to the other variant, like the Russian ones, which had a bit more of a solid stock on it. Has its 45 round magazine, and it's a heavy barrel as well. Obviously it's got its cooling fins there as well underneath the gas area. Even still has all the markings on it. I don't know if I'll even show it because this camera is terrible, but it is all marked up. That's a nice one as well. So since most of the stuff that's on my wall is real, with the exception of a couple of airsoft guns, one of the ones I'm going to show you next is this one. This is actually a blank fire replica, so I actually do keep empty shells in this because I do play around with this. This is another one that I use for reenactment displays, because these are only about £100, so nice and cheap. If these suddenly go walkies because someone decides to steal it, it's not going to be overly concerning. However, the real sort of deactivated ones of these, you know, were touching 1,500 plus at the time, so I'd rather lose £100 as opposed to over a grand. But yeah, 8mm blanks aren't great, but it makes a nice pop. Right, I'm going to quickly get rid of the last airsoft gun I have on my wall. This is my P90. I got this one dirt cheap for, I can't remember how much I paid for it, but I paid next to nothing for it. And it's the only airsoft gun that hasn't actually broken on me, and it was the cheapest one I've ever bought. And even though actually the red dots died. That's a shame. But yes, this one is my P90. I've been using this for, well, when I went to airsoft, I haven't been in quite some time. I use this for every single game. I used to have a Glock, which broke. I also had a 45, which broke, but this thing just kept powering, this little electric P90, and it's absolutely really nice. I love P90s, it's such an awesome little design. Still Thompsons are better though. Right, I've shown you complete rifles, I've shown you airsoft guns, and I've shown you a weird and wonderful little mortar projectile. What about an incomplete rifle? This is a stick. More importantly, this is my stick. This is my number 3 star SMLE, Lee Enfield SMLE, and this one's very nice because this one, if we charge this back, it's very difficult to do, we've got no trigger assembly on this. This one's a 1928 Lee Enfield SMLE 3 star, and my intention with this, I got this basically because I paid next to nothing for it, which was really nice. My intention for this one is to get this fully restored. Obviously not into firing condition, that's damn near impossible, I don't know if you can make it out, but there is a very long slice down the barrel there, and also into the receiver and into the chamber as well. But if I can get this looking the part, it'll look fantastic on my wall and on whatever display I do. It's absolutely beautiful. Even makes it even worse the fact that the barrel and receiver is a matching number, which is such a shame. But one day it will be restored to its former glory. There's still many on the floor. Right, since we've been doing obviously a little bit of everything, let's go back to something a little more interesting than the last one that I did, which just kind of lit up the sky. This one lit up everything. This one is a P-tab, and the intention with these, they were dropped by airplanes, lots of them, in one go. Not lots of airplanes, lots of airplanes as well. These were dropped in massive amounts, like 25, 50, 100, 200 at a time, and they were evil. This little thing was evil because it was an anti-tank weapon, so it had an anti-tank charge heat warhead at the bottom, and a frag sleeve. It's very difficult to see, but it has a frag sleeve on there. And what happened was, when they dropped these on open fields of Germans and whoever else they were shooting at the time, if it hit the ground, it would fragment and kill the infantry, or wound the infantry. If it hit a tank, it would kill the tank, or damage the tank. And that's a really cool little piece, and this something so small would drop in such large amounts of numbers, and it was just really cool. I actually need to fix this because someone bent the pin. It was probably me messing around with it when I threw it at someone. That would hurt a lot. Testing. Right. This one is clearly iconic, and if you don't get this one, then you need to get out from under a rock, because this one that I'm going to show you is probably one of the most iconic weapons ever. You've seen AKs, everyone's seen an AK, but there's one thing that everyone recognizes. It's my personal favorite, the Tommy gun. This one is actually wrong. I've put a foregrip on this thing. It's supposed to have a horizontal, because this is an M1928A1. So this one would actually have had a horizontal magazine. Yeah, it would have had a magazine as well, but it would have had a horizontal foregrip, and probably would have just used the generic 20-30 round magazines. But the differences with this one is, you may notice, it doesn't have the flip sight at the back here. This has just a very simple stamped Lyman sight. Now this one is very special because it looks almost brand new, purely because these were uncovered from crates in Russia, never fired. They got sent over there with all the spare parts, all the tooling, all the instruction manuals, all the guns, everything they needed to use them, except the bullets. So the Russians obviously couldn't use them, so they all got created, forgotten about, and then I think it was sometime in like 2010, 2020, somewhere in the 2000s, early 2000s-ish, they found them, scrapped loads of them, and deactivated the rest of them. And this one is my one, and it's really, really nice. A little bit of history behind this one, it's pretty cool. And obviously, it's a Tommy gun. Gotta be gangster. No, that's terrible. But you did stop off as well, which is always pretty cool. Gotta get it, Al Capone it! I think it's about time I showed something else. Something more automatic and heavy, and another iconic one. If you've played any World War II games, or you've seen any World War II Russian movies, you may recognise this. This here, which is very cumbersome and awkward, is my DP-28. And now the DP-28 is just such a really weird gun. If I actually rest here on this chair in the corner of it here, this DP-28 is actually really cool because, one, these little dinner plate magazines, which is very awkward to Come on. Come on! It won't come off. There we go. So yeah, dinner plate magazine, DP, dinner plate. Nah, that's not whatever. So I'm gonna put that back in there. This obviously fires the same. This actually fires the same rounds as the Mosin Nagant, but it's a pretty cool one though. This one even has its very, very, very early heavy barrel with all the cooling fins. Very, very rare to see those. That's why I love this one so much. This one was made in 1939. I mean, this one's quite old. Nothing like my SMLE though. Now, like I said about my Thompson, how it was found in a crate. There's another gun that I got that was also found in a crate that had never even been fired. So this thing, when I got it apart, actually had matching bolt, receiver, barrel, everything. If it had a number on it, it matched, which was a bit of a shame. This one here, this is my PPS 43. This one is a Polish PPS 43. And it's kind of limited. This one's been a little bit welded, unfortunately, so the trigger doesn't work, but the charging handle does, but the bolt doesn't move. It's been cut from the bolt, so it moves under spring tension. String tension? Strings? No. But yeah, this one is actually really nice. This one's quite nicely done. The only places where it looks a bit weird is where you can see where the welds have been and they kind of discoloured some of the metal work. But this thing was supposed to replace the PPSH 41, and it's really nice. These things are so simple. I would hate to fire one though. I mean, it feels like it would be a bit rattly. And I know a few people who have fired these and, you know, lucky bastards. Right, if I'm going to show the PPS 43, I might as well show you a PPSH 41. These things are really cool. I love these things. I was so glad when I got this one. But this one's my 1944 PPSH 41. And it's in remarkable condition for its age. I mean, if you think of Russian guns, these things were probably used as clubs, seats, and they probably use them to tow aircraft with. I don't know, Russians are kind of crazy. But this one's in fantastic condition. And I don't know what it is with these things. They're such a simple design. I mean, that's just something special with these things. And this sits on my wall. This actually sits on the side that you normally can see. And you may notice it has a stick magazine, which I have high over here. The reason why I don't keep this on, unless it's on my wall, because it's the only way it'll fit on, is because this is a pain in the ass to get off. And you literally have to pray, shout, scream, use swear words. That's the only way this thing comes off. So when this goes out on a display, the public gets this drum magazine on, because it's the most recognisable. But when it's on my wall, the stick mag goes on. But I mean, who would not want a PPSH 41? You must be crazy. Right, this is the last of my pointy things, I think. Yes, this is the last of my pointy things. I've got no more pointy things. This one here. This one is my 1943 M1 Garand cut down bayonet. It's another one that's in really nice condition. Still quite sharp too. And this one sits on my wall. This one actually sits behind my screens. And I have this one, if you ever see any pictures of me reenacting my 75th Rangers, not 75th, 2nd Rangers, you will see this sits on my haversack on my side. Because I hate it on my hip. It batches on the side and it's really annoying. So I have this on my side. It depends on which side. I think I keep it on my right side, so it'll be over here. And even though I haven't got a Garand, I don't carry a Garand, I haven't got one. I usually carry one of the guns I've still got down here. But it's really nice to have this thing here because it means I get to pull out and go, hey look, I've got a pointy thing. Which is kind of cool. Okay, this weapon I want to show you now is actually one that I kind of have some... I was quite surprised with this one actually. And this is also the one that I use pretty much every time I go reenacting. Even though it's not my most favourite of firearms, it's just purely because of historical significance. And that's this one, which I nearly dropped on the floor trying to do something smart. This is my M1 carbine. Now the reason why this one is so special is because this one is still in its configuration from 1943. It still has all the parts it left the factory with, it still has its original stock, it has everything that's original, and it's been deactivated in such a nice way because half of them are ruined. But this one still functions nice and correctly, which is nice. But this one is 1943 dated barrel, 1943 dated receiver. It still has its push button safety. It still has its flip sights. It still has its barrel band, which does not have the bayonet lug. So this didn't get its Korean overhaul where it got the adjustable sights. It got its barrel band with the bayonet lug. It got its flip safety, unlike this push button safety. And this one even has its early top guard because it's only got the 2 holes in the top. The later ones had 4, and even later was the metal heat shield that you've seen on more so on the M2 carbines, which is the automatic versions of these. But I mean, I absolutely think that these carbines are awesome, and the fact that this one is in its original condition is perfect when I do all these reenactment events, because it's probably one of the most perfect kits to have because it's dated and it's still in its condition. But no, this one is one of my favourites. Even got some spare magazines in there. This thing's awesome. It's also nice and light. It weighs next to nothing. You know. Since I'm going to save my last few heaviest weapons for last, the only one left to show you that's semi sort of viable to lift correctly without killing yourself is probably my most favourite weapon ever made in the history of ever. You can take any gun you want and go, this gun is amazing, and I will tell you you're wrong, because it's this one. It's the M1A1 Thompson submachine gun, and I fucking love these things. I've always been a fan of the Thompson, I always will be, and more so the fact that I actually get to own one myself is just fantastic. And this one is a very strange and unusual one because it had some really strange things done to it. Like, it had all the sides shaved off, all the serial numbers were engraved off, they were being chopped off, however it was done. So I had to get a new serial number put on it. And few rumours that have been sort of tried to find out why that was done, it kind of leads to some very sketchy history. One of them being apparently something the IRA used to do. And because this has no British import marks, it's kind of a bit sketchy, but it's cool to know that it had that amount of history to it. But this one is really, really nice, and it's also mine, which makes it even better. God, love Thompsons. US property, M1A1 Thompson submachine gun. I mean, if you've seen Saving Private Ryan, you've seen Tom Hanks with this thing, you've got to love a Thompson. I mean, come on, who doesn't love a Thompson? If you don't, then you need help. Right, I am literally saving the heaviest to last, which is still on the floor. So I'm going to show you this one. This one is very iconic, but I guarantee you'll probably get this one wrong. Can you tell what it is yet? I guarantee you're wrong. This is an M53. This is the Yugoslavian copy of the MG42. If you said MG42, I'll give you half a point. But this one is mine, and this one is really, really nice. I mean, this one still also functions. Still has all its parts. Unfortunately, again, it has been deactivated. But these things are so cool. I mean, I would love to actually have the chance to fire one of these in real life, but the only problem is that's a lot of money and a lot of belt for 12,000 rounds per minute. Sorry, 1,200 rounds per minute, 12,000 rounds per minute. My God, I don't think anything could fire that quickly and not strip the belt. But these things are really cool, and this one's always a crowd pleaser. Every time this goes on display, everyone rushes towards this. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, these things are really nice. I mean, oh yeah, and if you've seen my profile picture, this is the one from the profile picture, as you can see. But no, these things are really cool. Right, this is the last one. It's the heaviest, but it's also the probably most interesting one. Well, it's not really that interesting, but it's cool either way. Ugh. This is my .30 caliber machine gun. This one is a 1942 .30 cal machine gun, and it is really, really nice. This one's been well looked after, and yes, it does have its mount on because I do have a tripod for it. But this one, if I can, there we go, top cover up, still kind of functions, which is nice, and it will actually strip belts. So when we teach people how the .30 cal work, how to load them, this one will strip a belt, strip a round from the belt, and throw it to the floor through the ejection port underneath. So, get that there. So that's it under there, which makes it great for showing people how disintegrating belts work, how to load the machine gun, which is another really cool gun. But my god, is it heavy. I would hate to have carried one of these around. You know what I mean? Come on. Probably like that. I'll need a drink after this, just carrying this thing. Whew. Alright guys, that's it, because I am knackered from carrying that bloody machine gun. Literally trying to get it from my wall to here and carry it around when I'm half asleep is not the best way to do things. It is really heavy. But that is everything I have on my wall. So those who keep asking, I'm just going to go watch this video because that's all of it. Everything's on my... Wait, hold on. No, there's one more thing I forgot. I'm going to shout it at. It's my little toy plane. I have this on my wall. My fiance bought it for me, and it sits on my grid wall. So, yeah. But no, that's everything that's on my wall. If you've got any more questions, put it in the comments. I'll tell you. As long as it's not how they're deactivated, that is an absolute nightmare to sort of try and explain, because there are so many different rules and laws that they keep changing every 5 minutes. The best thing to say is they just will not chamber a bullet, and you've got ones that will still drive fire and ones that don't, and the new stuff is just horribly done. It's really badly done. But these ones are all kept in fantastic condition. If you ever do see me around the UK doing these events, you will probably see most of these guns, or have seen most of these guns, and you've had a chance to hold them, use them, and you've been told about them yourselves. But I'd like to thank you for sticking around to the end of this video, because I am fucked. So thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope people will now stop asking me what I've got on my wall. Goodbye.